one thing I'm not a fan of on the GoPro Max is that this record button, like, it's very conscious. You have to make a very conscious effort to depress that. It's not like just a quick on, like, it's very deliberate. Anyway, we're out rolling and about, dog. What is going on? Old FXLR Racing Ronnie is back to FXLR Ron Burgundy, baby. Not sure what's going on here. Let's not get hit. Dang, everyone's backing up. Thank you. That was very kind of him to wait. Oh, because probably he saw that other car waiting to take a left, that it was like, oh, someone's coming. Today's video, we're going to be talking about gloves. We have a couple new gloves that we're trying out, and we're going over some of our other glove choices that we run throughout the year. But first, we're going to fill y'all in very quickly on what's going on. We have the OEM Burgundy tints back on the bike. We have new tires on the bike. We have our Cobra USA crash bar back on the bike. And our Kuryakin lights back on the bike. Connor, we get it. There's a lot of stuff back on the bike. So, the Cobra USA crash bar that we had, the chrome one, this one is now black. We are removing it for another track day because our lean angle has gotten to the point where the crash bar could become a hazard of it catching on any imperfections on the track, scraping and so forth. That we were taking it off, we noticed there to be a small line, which then after a closer inspection, it appeared to be a crack, and I moved the crash bar into the light and then I flexed on it trying to bend it, and sure enough it did bend, and then we were able to break it apart. Long story short, we sent the videos to Cobra USA just saying, hey, FYI, my crash bar broke. Unsure as to why. Maybe the vibrations, just letting y'all be aware of it. And I was expecting them to be like, okay, cool, tough luck. But their customer service, they said, send it to us, we'll send you a new one. Well, after some emails going back and forth, they said, hate to be the bearer of bad news, we are still going to be warranting your crash bar, but unfortunately it's going to be 4 to 8 weeks before we get it back to you, because they are renovating, they are revisiting their design and making a slightly beefier version, and they are going to be sending me the version 2.0 of their Cobra USA crash bar, of their highway crash bar. But we couldn't wait that long, that we felt very uneasy not having any sort of crash protection in the event that we dropped the bike or if someone were to hit us. I like the crash bar because it's in direct area of my leg. But with the fact that it did bend very easily, like with a stress crack, and we were able to bend it after that, I don't know if I have that much faith in that, but again, it's still going to be an added peace of mind to have that crash bar up there. And then with the crash bar, with the winter and fall mode, with fall upon us and not very many track days that we'll be attending as well, we decided to go ahead and put our Kuryakin driving lights back on the front. We have one on the independent switch here that we can turn on and off should we choose to, and then we ended up plugging the other ones in using our blinkers that we no longer run here underneath the handlebars and mirrors, that we cut those connectors, the OEM connectors, and we spliced and soldered the ones that are on the fork, that are up on front on the fork tubes themselves. Now, we do get a lot of questions regarding the light mounts. Those are off of Amazon. They will be linked down below. And just a quick plug, anytime you do purchase anything using the Amazon links down below, they go back to supporting the channel. We are a part of the Amazon affiliate links, and we do see a small percentage of the profit whenever you do click and purchase something from the links. We're going to unload the gloves and present them here on top of this bag. Yeah. So these are the new ones that we got. We're gonna put aside the newest gloves that we got. We're gonna be focusing on them for winter riding. We're gonna start off with what we have, from temperature ranging from the warmest to the cooler temps. The ones that we tend to wear more frequently than most is going to be a set of Odin MFG Street MX gloves. These are going to be closest to your MX style gloves. If you do come from a dirt bike background, or you enjoy more of a minimal style glove that's the least amount of material between your hands and the handlebars, you're going to like an MX style glove. One of the cool things about this is that they have a perforated leather palm with a thinner style stretch material on top, which gives you the breathability of an MX style glove on top, with a little bit more of an abrasion resistance here on the palms. One of the features that Odin puts in most, if not all, their gloves is going to be this drop off finger trap door, so that way whenever you are riding and you do need to access your smartphone, if you need it for GPS or directions, you can quickly remove the fingertips and access and either text. If you need a dexterity in order to either mess with your D-hooks on your helmets, or you need a lighter if you're going to smoke and you don't want to take off your gloves per se because it's a little bit more brisk. Or now if you are riding and if you want to maintain throttle, if you don't have cruise control, one thing that I'll do is that it's a little easier to just unhook it, and I usually go with my finger and I usually go with my thumb to access my smartphone, and then I can either bring it back up, and then what I'll do is I'll hold it on my chest, and then with my pointer finger, what I'll do is I'll pinch it between my body and then that thumb, and then it's back on my finger. The pointer is a little bit more difficult to do. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put it underneath my helmet, I'll bite it, and then I'll unhook it, and then do the same to put it back on. But usually to access my phone, whenever I need to access my phone, I'll just do the thumb, and it's more than enough. And then of course the other feature is going to be the magnets here on the wrist cuffs that allow you to secure your gloves to your tank, and then they don't blow off or away. Now the next one's going to be their perforated style leather gloves. It does have a cloth interior that's going to give you a little bit more warmth for those early morning rides that it is either going into spring from winter or going into fall, or if you're in a northern area. And then you have a little bit more of a thickness of padding, and then you have this double reinforced stitched palm area. It is perforated, so it does breathe a little bit. We do ride with these in summer. They are comfortable. Again, you have the thumb and pointer finger trap doors that allow you the dexterity to use your phone, and they look super wick, and I really like the overall finish of them. You have Odin badging here on the side with a small tag, and then you have a band here on the bottom of the wrist. Now one thing I do like about this is that these straps are a lot shorter than what the originals were, that we actually had to cut these because we had a lot of this material left over where it would kind of slide all the way over here, that it would just be kind of dangling, and I didn't really like that, so I went ahead and cut it. But these are just how they are from Odin. We've had these for about 1.5 years now. I've enjoyed them. Sometimes during summer I do find them to be a little bit warm, mainly on those higher temp like 95 and 100, that the first initial ride isn't too bad, but if I take them off, if I need to take off my gloves and then put it back on, with the cloth interior, it tends to make my hands stick, where I find myself kind of giving a little bit more conscious effort, where I'm trying to sneak it in there because my hand is sticking to the cloth. Again, you have the magnets on the wrists, that way you can secure it to your tank or your motorcycle. Now, before moving on to the new gloves, these are the Odin Originals. These look a little bit more like work gloves. They are tan, they are comfortable, they are a solid leather piece, that they are not perforated like the other Odin MFG gloves. You do have the double reinforced, which looks like to be a suede material here with additional stitching. These look really nice. I really like these. Are pretty much like your classic motorcycle gloves. They also look like work gloves with the trap door fingers as well, to allow that dexterity if you need to access your phone. But we've had these for about 2.5 to 3 years now. They've seen some pretty heavy use in the winters, that they are fairly warm. Now you pair them with hand guards while you're riding and you are set to go. I've worn these in about 50-degree temps and my hands have been comfortable. I haven't felt the need to either tuck my hands in or put them on the primary. And then again, these have the magnets in the wrists. And they all have magnets within the wrist to allow the ability to just store them, or if you need to run inside the store real quick, you can grab them. You can kind of just toss them on your tank and be like, all right, cool, I'm out. Moving on, we have 2 new sets of gloves that we have ordered. We have a set from First MFG. These are your Gauntlet style gloves. We got these to allow us some shielding from these colder winter Texas riding months. That with Gauntlet gloves, the benefit of having this additional Gauntlet portion is whenever you have a jacket and you put your gloves on, this will go over your sleeve, which keeps the wind from piercing into your sleeve. So you can be all bundled up. You can have a jacket, a flannel. If you were to have just a regular style glove where your sleeve is exposed and then you're allowing the wind to come in, then you're going to start feeling colder in your arm, and then eventually that transfers to your body and you're like, oh man, I'm cold. So that's why we ordered this, because it has a Gauntlet style cuff to allow fitment over your jacket sleeve. It's going to help shield you from the colder weather. Now, one of the things I really do like about the First MFG gloves is that, one, they're very affordable. These are about $70. If you do use the code CR25, you save 15% on your purchase. And that code is good for anything on the first MFG website. That's good from the jackets to the vest to the custom vest and even the gloves. So if you're looking for a winter outfit, check that out. Again, that is an affiliate link, and we do see a portion of that profit. Anytime you do purchase something using that code, it helps out the channel, and we're extremely grateful. So these are the gloves. They feel really comfortable. They're a thinner style cow leather is what I'm going to assume. It is very tactile. It's very thin layer. We've worn these gloves in 60-degree temperatures coming back from South Texas. They do feel very nice. And then the cool thing is that the tips of the pointer and the thumb, they are smartphone capable. So if you do need to access something on your phone, you can depress it, you can slide up, you can use your code of whatever, and then you access your phone without having to remove your gloves. Or like with the Odin MFG gloves, there is no trap door that you need to do that to expose your finger and then use your phone in to cover it back up. They are included on the tips of both hands, pointer and thumb. It does have a button snap here on the top of the wrist. This is only for aesthetics. It's not functional. You cannot tighten it any further, because if you were to tighten it, all it does is it moves the position of the snap, and then there's no additional snap in order to secure it. So it's just going to be in one spot. It's all aesthetic. It does look nice. I do like the color combo of the black and brown. It's very neat. One of the things I will say, when we rode with it, I wish that this cuff was slightly longer, or was slightly wider, to allow it to fit over our other jacket. We just got a Scorpion XO jacket. It is a 4-season jacket we're going to be doing a full review on. So we tried these gloves with that jacket, and that was one of the things I noticed was it was a little difficult to fit it over the sleeve. Issue lied whenever I tried to put the second glove over the sleeve. I am wearing a watch here on my left wrist, paired with the jacket included with the thermal liner, and then I believed I was wearing a flannel, where I was kind of fighting it to get it over, and it did manage to do it, but just that way it's a little bit easier. Or if you were able to make it loose and have some sort of a draw or even just a little cinch. And now moving on to these gloves. These are the Revit Cassini H2O gloves. These are rated as winter gloves from Revit. These are rated as waterproof from Revit. And I was extremely surprised at their performance. Oftentimes when it comes to winter gloves, it's usually not really worth it, because either you lose all dexterity or they just aren't as warm as they predict. We had bought some winter gloves one time from Harley Davidson when we first started riding, and they didn't do anything to block out the wind. They were not that warm at all. We lost all dexterity, where we had to, with purpose, figure out what we're doing. Like, oh, I need to use my blinker. So I take my hand off the throttle, press the blinker, and put my hand back on it. But these, I have nothing but great things to say about them. I will do another video once it's actually cold here. We did one. These are the gloves that we rode to South Texas to start our trip. We woke up at 4:30 a.m. We left at 5:30, and it was 48 degrees when we left. I was like, man, this is going to be a cold trip. We had the Scorpion XO jacket. We had the Scorpion XO pants. With the pants and jacket, we also had a layer, but with this, we just put them on. No base layer, just the gloves themselves. No handguards. Our handguards that we had ordered in order to prepare for colder weather riding, for some reason we ordered the wrong one, and we were like, no, there's no way we're gonna get new ones in time. But these gloves came just in time. Now, these are comfortable. These do feel like winter gloves, where they are a little bit thicker of material that you can feel between your actual finger, the skin of your finger, like the skin of your finger, and then the base layer of the glove. But they're not so thick where they feel like a leather, like a winter glove. I still have plenty of dexterity, and I'm able to manipulate the hand controls as if we were doing city riding. That if I need to choose right blinker on, left blinker on. If I need to turn the bike on, hazards. Now, one thing I will say is that the thumb feels a little bit big. That is where my thumb is. There's maybe about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of material on the thumb, but everything else feels good. It is smartphone capable, but the one thing I will say is that you kind of have to figure out a certain angle of attack that you're going to use for your smartphone, that it doesn't work like where if it's your palm. I will kind of have to attack like the top part of my finger, where it's like, there it is. Same thing with the thumb. The cost of these gloves is a little high for those looking for kind of your budget friendly winter riding glove. These are about $230. This is a 3M thin sillet material on top, and then you have a leather palm here on the bottom with really nice stitching. This is available in several colors. We got this grayish color. One thing that I will say about this glove is I wish that the cuff was either a little bit wider or just slightly longer and a little bit wider, because when we were put on our jacket going down to South Texas, going on our trip that we had the jacket just barely be able to fit underneath the glove, that it left a small portion of our skin exposed, that we did feel a little bit of a chill, but it wasn't so much where it would travel into our arm and we started to get really cold. So when we were leaving that morning, it was 48 degrees. Wind chill factor of highway speeds down to South San Antonio was putting us at about 32 to 35 degrees of what the wind was dropping the temperature down to. But all I did while I was riding is I would flex my hand to get the blood continuing to pump in there. I'd either take them off really quick, do something, or when it was in, I would extend my palms out and then wiggle my fingers, and then also clench a fist to get that blood going, and that was more than enough. We went for about 80 miles. Again, it was that morning for the 2 hours. We got off the bike, took the gloves off, and we were able to just put the gas in, do what we had to do without having to reach down at the primary, warm our hands back up after we took our gloves off, do all kinds of stuff. Because if you ride in that cold of a temperature, your hands start to feel that cold, most of those fine motor movements really hurt your hands, because you're reaching for your wallet, you scrape it on a button or a zipper, you're like, and it kind of hurts because it's just that piercing pain of your hand is just extremely cold. These are a great investment. I can see myself, especially once we get the appropriate hardware for the handguards in, I'm gonna say 30 degrees and below, we could probably ride with these. Now it depends on if it's 30 and windy and we're on highway, it probably might be a little bit too cold for that. But I'm very excited for this new winter setup that we have, that we were able to ride very comfortably. But we just wanted to get back on the channel and then start with some content, because we have been absent. We just haven't had a drive to create videos. That we'll be doing a feature video on that. Just no real script or agenda as to what the content's going to be for that video. Just kind of talking about what we've been doing, where we've been going, and plans, what we want to do, just general. It is sketch though. Ooh, we got a little bit of tree action, baby. Ah, here we go, a little smoother action. Ooh.